Welcome everybody back to the Built Different Show. Whoa. I'm your host, Thomas Saxby, and we are coming at you with another episode of baseball. You guys love baseball. We love baseball. The season is off to a nice, hot start. And we are here to talk about everything today on the 107th episode of the Built Different Show. We're going to be talking about the Torpedo bats. We're going to be talking about steroids. We're going to be talking about the Dodgers, the Braves. We're going to be talking about Jazz Chisholm Jr. We're going to be talking about everything that you can think of. And there is not another person in the whole world that I would rather do it with besides Wolf. Wolf, what is up?
What is up, brother? We are officially a week into baseball and more. There's so many storylines happening
Already.
Even with our teams. I mean, Mackenzie Gore over there with 13 strikeouts, which you called. You said he's going to be the ace of the staff. You were spot on. You had your little genie bowl over there, made some predictions episode 1 that are coming true. And got the Met hat on. I got to give love to my boy, my one and only, my child. Brought him back, Pete Alonso. And I could not be happier of what we've seen. Pump the brakes. I know it's only actually 7 games. Actually, even better. I forgot. It's 7 games more. Because when I originally talked about this with you in the script, he didn't hit that opening day home run or his home opener. Now he did. So add that to the list, man. He is just on fire right now. The Mets are above 500. He's looking good. They're looking good. Baseball's looking good. You're looking good. How are you?
Oh, wow. Thank you. Listen, man, I ought to throw this Nationals hat away. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, man, it's not a pretty start for the Nationals. They came into this like they didn't even play any spring training games or they didn't train in the off season, nothing. It kind of just looks like they threw this team out there. I'm tired of watching Josh Bell. I'm tired of watching Paul DeYoung. I'm tired of this goddamn thing that we call a bullpen. I'm kind of just tired of it. Dylan Cruz, I think as we are recording right now, Dylan Cruz still does not have a base hit this season. Dave Martinez has no idea what he's doing. Hold on, I gotta make sure that he didn't get a hit this game.
And what's his strikeout total if you happen to have it there in front of you?
Oh wait, he does have a hit. So he's hitting 0.045.
Wow.
One hit and 22 at bats, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Yeah. Well, what did you ask? Before I start crying?
No, I said what was his strikeouts, but you said 10, so all right.
Oh, yeah.
That's not great.
So no, I mean, it's not a good start for the Nationals, but I'm still holding out hope. I think we'll be better than the Braves. We'll see what happens there. But other than that, man, the baseball season got off to a really exciting start. I mean, we're talking about torpedo bats of all things, and you guys know that I love memes, and this is just one of the biggest memes, and it's great. Life's going great. I'm getting healthy. Things are going, the way they should. I won some bets yesterday. MLB The Show has been nice too. Can't wait for the Weekend Classic next weekend.
Me too.
But yeah, man. I mean, listen. Oh, there is something I want to rant about. There is something absolutely I want to rant about. Listen, I know I'm a Nationals fan. I know I'm supposed to hate the Mets and I'm supposed to hate Juan Soto and stuff. But I think some of you people out there, especially some of you people that talk about sports, are out of your goddamn fucking mind. Because when it comes to Juan Soto, like, you hear all of these Yankees haters and just people that don't like the Mets and people that don't like Juan Soto in general talking about how he's not a needle mover, he's not going to make a difference for the Mets. What he's shown so far is what you're going to see. But, I mean, we got 15 years, or the Mets got 15 years of Juan Soto, and we're talking about stuff that we're seeing in 7 fucking days. 7 days of Juan Soto is apparently going to be the next whole 15 years. But that one comment that really bothered me was that fucking needle-pushing comment. How stupid do you have to be to sit there and say that Juan Soto is not a needle pusher? He made Anthony Rendon look like a goddamn MVP. He brought the Nationals to their first World Series championship. We're talking about the stinky booty Washington Nationals. And I know I have a Washington Nationals hat on, but that has to be exaggerated, what he was able to do at 20 years old for the Washington Nationals. On top of that, he brought the Padres, the stinky booty San Diego Padres that don't ever achieve anything. He got them to the NLCS. Oh, and by the way, the Yankees that have not made a World Series since 2009, he threw them on his back when Aaron Judge was being stinky and booty and ugly. So listen, if Juan Soto isn't a needle pusher, then he's pushing something, whether it's drugs, pushing pee, pushing that fat old ass across home plate. I'm fucking right. Either
No,
which way, people got to stop the bullshit, man. Like, and I'm not even a Mets fan, and at this point, I can't even. I haven't watched a Mets game yet, and Juan Soto is my favorite player. That's where I'm at. But like, some of these people are absolutely insane.
well, I mean, and the thing about it is that we don't even need to lie about it because the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, clearly with the contract that he got, with the years that he got, with the money that he got, it. Steve Cohen is one of the richest men in this, not even just in this country, on this planet. He wouldn't be giving that money away to someone that he doesn't think is a needle mover or a generational talent. And you got
Yeah,
to remember this too. Not only the stats that he has and what he's already brought to the table, coming up at like what was it, the age 19, is that the fact that he's 26 still. So not only do you have this generational talent, but you have it for at least minimum the next. Well, I mean, for the Mets, the next decade and a half.
yeah,
So it's not just what he could do now; it's what he's going to do for you in the future and what you could build around. So it not only moves the team in just an offensive direction, but just the whole organization itself, and showing that, hey, we got this kind of player and this, that, and it moves the needle in all aspects. Like there's not just one
yeah.
gauge. There's plenty of them, and they're all moving with him being on the team.
And it seems like his presence has already helped Pete Alonso. And I know you already mentioned Pete Alonso, but Pete Alonso was like dead in the water last year. This year we're looking at Pete Alonso that we saw a few years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Because
I mean, I don't like the Mets, but Juan Soto, I gotta always defend my guy, no matter where he is. He could have been playing for ISIS, and I'm just
he's on the North Korea Rocketeers. But and you
but
can put him anywhere in the lineup too, like you just said, because he makes Pete Alonso better. Lindor, knowing he has
bro,
Soto
you could
behind him, makes
put
him more
Juan
comfortable.
Soto third, and then you could put me second and you fourth, and me and you are gonna have career years.
Oh yeah, I know you're true. I'll be at least putting up some serviceable stats. Let's say that
Yeah,
for
right.
league
Like
minimum.
I'll at least
I'll
hit. I'll
sign
at
for
least
league
hit a
minimum.
hundred.
Yeah,
I'll at least
yeah.
hit 100.
Yo, you're true. I'll take a couple walks. I'll take a couple walks.
Yeah.
I'll see some
Um.
fastballs.
Yeah. Let's go around the diamond though. Listen, and then this is our new little segment. As you guys can see, all the stuff that appeared on the screen. We're gonna go around the diamond. Wolfie's drinking a beer. I'm about to be smoking crack. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be smoking a blunt at some point.
I'm just kidding. It's
Um.
just meth.
Yeah, just heroin. But yo, torpedo bats. What's your opinion on them? I know we got a lot of boomers out there that think that they should be banned, and then we got like all these funny memes. It's been a great time. It's helping the Yankees. It seems like they're the only people that are getting helped by these are the Yankees. But go ahead.
It's so funny because if it wasn't the fact that they just tooled on Nestor Cortez, we probably wouldn't even hear much of a story about it. And thanks Michael K for making it a story. He literally announced it to the world, like, and no one even really noticed it because they were actually being used in organized games last year, and
Last year,
I'm pretty sure they were even just in games themselves. I know they were in some spring training and workouts, but this isn't a new thing, and the fact that it became such a big story is wild. Now, I will say it's early. It is early because
yeah,
we don't know the data yet. The one thing that I think is kind of this is where it kind of bends the line a little bit because even just in your opinion, now take someone like Anthony Volpe for example, like would you think in a way it's kind of manipulating the game where if it's like, hey, he has the normal bat, but he can't get inside pitches with said bat. So if we give him this bat that still fits the regulation, but it looks a little different, he'll be able to get those inside pitches tailored to his swing more. Now, like, would you think that's against the morality of the game? Because that's where I feel like it kind of comes down to at the point. Like, if it's legal, I don't have anything against that. But it's more of like, do you think it's changing the game?
um, I don't think it's truly changing the game. I think just what the Yankees have focused on in spring, after that terrible World Series loss, is just actually making contact with the ball. And then now you just throw in torpedo bats, where literally, if you're good at making contact with the ball, you're going to hit the shit out of the ball. But what teams are going to start doing with the Yankees is instead of playing them north and south, they're going to play them east to west, and then the bats are going to start becoming irrelevant little by little. But the thing with the bats is like the people that make the suggestion that it should be illegal or whatever, like over the time of baseball, bats have come in many different variations. I mean, back in the day, they were swinging fucking long ass bats. They were swinging wide ass bats. Even today we got longer bats, shorter bats, bats that are a little bit fatter than usual, a little bit smaller. The ends of the bats are a little bit different. It's just another variation of a bat, and I don't think it should be illegal. I just don't want to see it too much. I think like it's not something that I would really have my team use because it's so easy to miss pitches that you would normally hit on the outside of the plate, or on the ends of the strike zone that you no longer can hit now that you have the shorter torpedo bat. But
And
other than that, I don't. I really don't get what people are yapping about. To be honest with you.
I actually have a really out of the blue point for you that I really haven't heard anybody talk about, right? Let's just take the torpedo bat, for example, because everything's in speculation and
Yeah.
we don't know anything yet. We don't know the results, but it's all legal, right? Isn't it kind? Well, first off, you and me both admit to each other's face, hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things to do in all sports,
Hell
right?
yeah.
Regardless of what bat they had. I love what the coach for the Brewers said. It's not the wand, it's the magician. One of
Right.
the best quotes ever. So
Yeah.
my point to you is, isn't it kind of better for the sport to have something like this happen so a guy like Anthony Volpe actually could be like staying in the league more? Like, I'm not saying we should give them an
Yeah.
advantage, but it's kind of like in a way it's like it's still so hard to hit a baseball in general that if it's like if you just lower the wood in a bat and all of a sudden this guy can like, add 20 points more to his swing. I know in a way it's like, well, he's cheating getting beat, but at the same time it's like he's not necessarily getting beat, he's just getting beat on a specific part of the bat. It's like almost kind of a way, like I kind of like seeing it because it kind of like prolongs guys we might not normally see much. I know
Yeah,
it's
and
such a
it
weird take, but like
no,
I
it's
want
not,
to see
and
guys
it's
succeed.
and it's just another layer of the game. We have all these different layers. This is another one. Like now, I bet you we'll probably get something. We'll probably get all these different variation of bats that are legal until they make a rule. Limiting how much you could change the bat. But one thing I'll say though is I would hate to be a pitcher in baseball right now. That is just
I was gonna say we haven't really talked about that side of it. Yeah.
listen, man. You talk about these pitchers, right? Like, not only do they have all the pressure of being the pitcher that'll either win you or lose you the game, but almost every inning or every other inning, they're getting checked for substances. They got the pitch clock. They got these new stolen base rules. Now you got fucking torpedo bats. You got you have to be on par with your catcher because if you're not on par with your catcher, the game is lost.
Yep.
Like if you lose an important game for your team, you're gonna get shitted on by the fan base. Even if the hitter goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, they're gonna look at the pitcher more than
Could
the
even
hitter.
lose your job.
Like
It's
Tommy
true.
John surgery. Tommy John surgery is another thing. Like pitchers, yeah, I would never want to be a
Well,
pitcher.
you
Like
know
if
what
I
it
had the
is?
ability.
And this is the thing too why it's so hard to tell so early because once we have the data from all of this we'll be able to see like actually how it works, and you gotta remember there's a lot of guys not even using it yet, so we don't know how great it
Right.
is. But it gets to a point though where, let's be honest, if the data shows it is encouraging a lot more offense, then you gotta kind of balance the weight again, and the way you do that is kind of incorporate some sort of sticky stuff back to the pitchers. Like, I hate to say it, but like, and I'm not saying they'll bring back spider tack, but they'll be like, hey, we came out with this new fucking substance that you can use that can grip the ball. Like, it'll always be some sort of balancing act. So,
And that's
but
what I think should
I don't
happen
know if it'll
in general.
become that, though. I'll say that. I don't think it's going to become that.
And I mean, I've never really had an issue with sticky stuff to begin with because, like I said, the hitters get all this advantage in the game. I mean, come on, a pitcher should be able to have the ability to grip their ball better. I mean, like batters get the ability to grip their bat better. They got tape, they got different kind of gloves, they got pine tar, they got all this shit that they could fucking add.
Well, I
And
liked it too because it actually, in a way, in my
prevents
opinion,
injuries too.
it encouraged using off-speed pitches more because, or not even throwing them faster, but like you said, more control. You could pinpoint a little bit better. You can get like a changeup, you grip a changeup or curveball better, so you're not necessarily having to throw that 100-mile-an-hour fastball all the time to beat
Yeah.
guys. You could throw a little bit slower, but pinpoint it, and like you
Right.
just said, like
Well,
keeps down on injuries. Yep.
well, it'll be fun to follow this year for sure. So, how about a story that's not so fun? Jurrickson Profar busted for performance enhancing
Whoop
drugs
whoop.
goes with the old tale of I don't know how that ended up in my body.
Yep.
What's your take? I only have one take on this because I loved Jurrickson Profar before this. He was a top prospect in the league before. He has the talent. I don't think last year was really an outlier year. He's had good years before. We know he has the talent. I just think it's so idiotic getting busted with steroids these days. I mean, with everything that happened to the sport because of steroids, for the good, but most especially for the bad, for you to make that choice to do performance enhancing drugs, I get it. Like you're out there, trying to perform for millions of dollars and trying to get every, dollar you can. But I don't, I really, it's just stupid because now everything you do moving forward is tarnished and everything that you did already is tarnished. So it's just silly.
Yeah, and the story about him, which is kind of crazy because now I don't know like how to feel about him, is that he was one of those people that throughout the system, whether it was in minors, even in I guess high school or low ball, wherever little league, wherever he played, he was like always one of those guys that was top of his class, top of
Yeah.
his teams. He always won awards. He always had this high expectation that he was gonna break every year. Every year we heard this is him. Like he would have like a hot stretch, and people would be like, "This is finally the profile that we're
Yeah. Well,
expecting."
because he was literally a number one
Yeah,
prospect, and
exactly.
he tore his shoulder rolling around in bed and all this other shit. So
And the thing is that now I know the talent was there. The problem is that I will admit I'm second guessing now 2024. I don't know how far back the steroids went. I know they test these guys all the time, but like usually a lot of the time they catch these guys, it's usually after they did something
yeah,
good.
they
It's
caught him in the
it's
off season.
yeah, so I'll admit, like, I do have a negative connotation now because now I'm starting to feel like he was the guy that was on the decline. He was the guy that had these injuries. He was this guy that didn't meet the expectations. And unfortunately, he turned to the dark side and took the thing you shouldn't have done just to get ahead. And I understand you're desperate, man, but like that's just like I'm a very big anti.
Stupid.
You know me, I'm an anti PED guy, and I just
Yeah.
like I don't like that. Now I don't know the full story yet. Did he like he said he didn't know. Yeah, like they all
Yeah,
say.
he just said
So
he
so
didn't
no,
know he was taking a performance enhancing
yeah.
drug. So
So it wasn't, and he didn't get injured last year. So this isn't like the old I was doing it to like heal kind of thing, which sometimes I kind of give those guys a slightly leeway, especially when they're like older. But for him, I think this was just a straight up like he was just doing PEDs, got caught, and
yeah,
the only positive, I mean, there's no positive in this for like a general perspective, but for my positive, man, thank God it happened to the Braves. Sorry, Braves fans. I mean it. Like out of all teams, this could have like, dude. And honestly, let's say, and not even from a biased Met fan, but take a look at this in just perspective, dude. If he was on the White Sox or the Marlins, this wouldn't even be a big story. Like it would, like you would be, it would be a story because it's still his name. But the fact that it happened to the Braves just made it that much bigger.
fun fact: Jose Quintana did Braves in the minor league system when he was coming up with the White Sox. But I don't
He
know
did
why.
what?
Jose Quintana when he was coming up on the White Sox, he did steroids. But
Dude, you said when he did Braves.
oh,
Yeah, check that in the edit room.
all right. So moving on to some hot starts here. The NL West between the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants. As we record, they all have one loss each. How are you feeling about that? I mean, the Padres and the Giants, they're keeping up with the Dodgers. I mean, I know it's only 8 games or whatever. The Diamondbacks aren't looking too bad either. Like, is this gonna be a competitive division this year?
So this is interesting because the uh, the Dodgers we obviously knew. I mean, they're still breaking records though. I don't know if you
Yeah,
heard the record. They're the first team that has gone 7-0 after winning a World Series the next year since 1931, if I'm not mistaken. So we're talking like this is
See, I
historical.
listen before you continue. I fucking love baseball history because you always have these stats of since 1889 or like some crazy shit.
Yep. Since
I
my
love
great great
baseball.
grandmother's birthday, this hasn't happened. And now, and every day it's something different. And with the Dodgers, there's clearly, dude, they're so good. And what's crazy, obviously, Shohei
They're
looks like he
really good,
hasn't
bro.
skipped a beat. Might not even need to pitch this year because they're doing that well. Mookie Betts, obviously, as much as you want to see the Dodgers not win, good for Mookie Betts to be back healthy. What seems healthy,
That
he
is so.
seems to get
Listen,
over
and
that.
that's a game I really wanted to highlight between the Tigers and the Dodgers. I believe it was game two, or it was game one. I don't know whichever game it was. Mookie Betts hit 2 home runs that game, including the walk off home run. It's spectacular with Mookie Betts. I think he's Hall of Fame. Like I mean I know like maybe his stats aren't too up to par
Oh,
because
he's
he
Hall of
hasn't
Fame. Yeah,
played
he's
enough
Hall of
games,
Fame.
but the leader that he is, the player that he is, everything he's done for baseball, I Mookie Betts, I can't sing enough of his praise.
I feel like he actually gets a little bit too underrated because of the fact that the Dodgers have like, oh, Otani and Freeman and Mookie. It's almost
Well,
like
this
it's
is
just
this is
they
what
have
kicked it all
Mookie.
off. Like they were losing every single year. They bring in Mookie Betts and they win literally. I believe it was 2 years after they got him. Um,
Uh,
so
yeah. Well, if they got him in 19, they didn't win that technical half season, but they won the 2020 half season. So so it would have been right around there anyway.
oh wow,
But
the first year. Well, never mind. Literally the first year they got Mookie
the
Betts,
first full
they
season,
finally
right?
broke their little curse
Yeah.
that was going on.
Yeah, it would have been the first full season for him, yeah, because it was the 19 one. So, but either way, no, and you know what it is too. It's like even and first off, by the way, that whole like sickness thing. I want to say, I feel like that happened so under the rug of him coming back. It was weird because I remember at the time, all you heard was how much weight he was losing and how bad it was, and then
Yeah, and they didn't even identify what it was. He was just sick and losing weight
yeah,
and couldn't eat. None of
and
that.
then the rosters dropped like later that week, and it's just like he was already like back. Like it was like he was like I don't think he played in the Tokyo series, but he
No,
played.
he traveled, but
Yeah, but he
he just
traveled
couldn't
with
play.
them. That's the thing. He
He
was
just
with
couldn't
them,
play.
so it was just so weird how like it was such a big thing, and then all of a sudden he was just back and hitting bombs. So
Yeah,
and good for him too. But no, the
yeah.
Dodgers are steamrolling, and just to quick go back to that, we talked about the Padres a couple times. They still have so many pieces with King and I know Darvish just hurt, but they
They've
still have
built. Yeah, I'll
King and
say that about the
Cease.
Padres, man. They've built a really good culture over there in San Diego, of where like they've had a lot of roster turnover the past 3 years, and for them to still be a good baseball club, I think is quite impressive.
Oh,
Mike Schilt, he's their manager too. He's a great manager.
yeah, and all the pieces that they have. I mean, I know everybody because the thing that really hurts them is the Soto thing. Everybody always remembers that. But if you look about what they got back and the pieces they had around them already with Bogarts there, Machado there, back end of the bullpen with Hader there, they're like still a really damn good team. They just get overshadowed by the fact that the Dodgers are in the division. If the Dodgers weren't in their division, it would just basically be them and then fighting with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, when that gets to the third team, which is the Giants, I'm still not 100% sold on them
Oh, I am
because
sold on the San
I'm
Francisco
I'm
Giants. Let me
I'm
tell you,
sold on their
buddy.
pitching. I think their pitching is going to actually be really good because Logan Webb is always good. And then they have a lot of other younger pieces coming up and Harrison and Birdsong and Verlander in the back over there. I think they're actually going to be serviceable. The thing that just scares me though is their bats and like I'll just give a quick example of that. One of your favorite 21 questions guys, Wilmer Flores. He has 4 home runs already, maybe possibly more now. I think he actually might have 5 already. I mean, dude, that's like an on pace for like 40, 50 home runs from Wilmer Flores. Like, are we really getting 50 home runs from Wilmer Flores? No. So,
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
so I never want to count them out of playoffs because of the fact that we have so many playoff spots now. But do I actually think that they're going to be this like source, this contender for the West all year? No. I think they're more of like someone that would contend if they were in the Central.
Okay. And I mean, I feel like I would argue with you because like
Well, argue.
especially the point where you say that their bats aren't good, man. Like we're talking
I didn't
about
say they weren't good. I just said I don't think they'll hold up.
well
Like the
that they
guys
won't
that are
hold
doing
up.
it.
Which and you made a good example, Wilmer Flores, because I don't think anyone in the world is expecting Wilmer Flores
Except
to
me.
yeah, the Mets fans out there and the Giants fans. But like I think like they have two very good leaders in there, Matt Chapman and Willie Adames, two players that aren't necessarily the best hitters in the league, but they are great fielders and they do have a very serviceable bat. But it's their leadership that they bring as well. Matt Chapman, everyone's always singing his praise about what he's been able to do in that clubhouse. But Willie Adames, from what I've seen from the games that they've played, he is loving being in a Giants jersey. I mean, the money is also great too, but
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
he's a great player. He seems like he's going to be that guy for them out there. But Jung Ho Lee is healthy. Helio Ramos is becoming a star before our eyes. I love Ramos, brother. Like
He's
he
someone
is
that
a phenomenal bat.
he's someone that if they could get him to be like their star, I think because that's what almost like they're missing. Like everybody always has that one star on their
Star
team,
power, yeah,
and I'm not and don't get me wrong, Willie Adames and Matt Chapman are good. I just feel like they need that like homegrown star like Ramos could be. Because the thing is that like it never happened. I mean, I don't think he was going to be that guy because he wasn't ever supposed to be that guy. But I always wish Yaz was going to be that guy because we saw a couple spurts from him there and here and
yeah.
there that he was going to be good, but he just never was. But Ramos would be a guy that would be good. They're like, you know what's weird
And don't
about
forget the
them?
prospects coming up. Bryce
Yeah,
Bryce Eldridge is going to come up at some point.
which it's funny.
Um,
They remind me of like a Met team from like 2000, like 18, 17, that kind of era, where they're lurking. They could be like they're one of those teams that you don't want to go into thinking we're just going to beat the Giants. Like you
and
can't
it's
think
always
that.
been that way. You got to love it.
At least for, and especially for the last like decade, because I think that's almost when they won the world last. Won
Yeah.
their last World Series was 16. Yeah, so it's been about a decade of just being like the normal Giants again.
Yeah, and another underrated point about the Giants too is they have Bob Melvin leading the ship out there, who's always been a really good, smart manager. And he's been in baseball for decades at this point. So I don't know. I mean, I think that they'll be contending up there. I mean, the thing that's just weird is that we're forgetting the D-backs in this story here because the D-backs they're loaded with talent. They just aren't. Their record isn't as good as the other three, but I think it's going to be a race. And if the Dodgers break away, I mean, I truly, especially with how things are going right now, I wouldn't even be shocked if those three are your wild card teams: Padres, Giants, and D-backs. It could happen. I mean, I know the second team in the NL East is probably going to contend in that, whether that's the Mets or the Phillies. But speaking of the Phillies, they're off to a hot start. How believable is it for you? Jesus Luzardo is looking like a Cy Young.
You know what's funny is that uh, their team I expected to be good. I remember we broke down their bullpen or their starting pitching at the beginning of the year, and I remember, and we didn't talk so highly about them. They had the potential, but they also had the potential to be a disaster. They were like a teeter totter kind of team. They
Yeah,
obviously were top heavy with Wheeler in there, Nola serviceable. Back end really fell off, especially with some of their injuries, like with Ranger. Sanchez has been doing well.
right.
But the thing was with Luzardo, I remember when they made the trade, I quick jumped to their stats because I was one of those guys that always believed in Luzardo. And I saw his stats from last year, and I'm pretty sure he had like a mid fives ERA. It was
Yeah, he was pretty terrible
putrid.
last year for the Marlins, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all I kept thinking was, this cocksucker is gonna go to the Phillies and just kill everybody and turn it around and get out of Miami. Same kind of thing what Jazz did. Same thing what Sandy Alcantara is gonna do. I actually think he might come to the Mets. That's a different story for a different day. But I knew Jesus Luzardo still had it in him.
Yeah.
The thing about him though
And he's their
is
fifth starter or their fourth starter, something like that.
exactly, and he's going to be moving around. There's no solid rotation 1 through 5 with pretty much any team across the board, not just the Phillies. But the thing about him is that not even necessarily with injury, I'm worried about. It's not even if he stays healthy, it's can you do this for a full season? It's
Right.
not even health at this point. It's you
Uh,
haven't done something like this in so long. So with Luzardo, I'm not surprised. The Phillies are going to be good. I still had them projected for first in the division, so they're a good
I mean,
team.
I still got the Mets because Juan Soto. But
And
yeah,
now
man. I
he,
mean, like when it comes to the Phillies, like they have put together a really good rotation so that like when and if Ranger Suarez comes back this season, he could slot in comfortably in the 5 spot. And then Taiwan Walker is a good serviceable backup whenever anybody goes down. You good?
yep.
But what about some slow starts,
I
man?
was
Like
wondering
we
if you're
got
looking at me in the
teams like
camera.
the Braves. They only have one win so far as we're recording. The Twins look stinky. The Reds are shockingly not scoring runs. And the Orioles they're last in the AL East. What is which slow start has been most surprising for you?
Um, I as much as I hate to blame it on, like, I don't want to blame it on injuries because Braves fan would be like, oh, Spencer Strider and Acuna and all that.
Strider's on his
But
he's actually he dominated his minor league rehab start. He's coming back like next week.
I was gonna say he'll be back actually really soon. But the thing is about, let's just take the Cincinnati Reds for example, is that between the Cubs, Brewers, and the Pirates, like especially the Pirates, there's so many teams in that division that always seem to do well early. I'm not saying the Pirates are right now, but there's so many teams that
Yeah.
seem to do well early that I'm not surprised the Reds haven't found their footing yet. I do think it's going to take some time because they're one of those
Yeah.
weird teams that I don't think is just going to come off smoking hot anyway.
And
Albie's
their
been
their pitching
straight.
is doing really well right now. So I think that's the thing that everyone was looking for is, can their pitching actually do good? So once the bats find themselves, they're going to be a scary team.
Exactly. So the thing that actually more bothers me is well, see, this is the thing. I want to say the Braves, and I know they have injuries, but the thing I will defend the Braves fans on is that they just played the Padres and they just played the Dodgers. They just played two of the toughest teams,
And
not
then
just
they
in the
just beat
league,
the
but all
shit
the.
out of the Marlins. They were so
Yeah.
mad.
So I can definitely understand the fact that the Braves were 0-7. No one wants to start like that, but I can understand it. The Twins one actually might be a little surprising because that division's, I don't want to say weak, but they should be able to contend with that. But to go back to it, it's
Dang, are we
still
finally entering the days where the AL Central is not going to be considered like a weak division anymore?
you know what it is though. Until like another team in the AL East actually makes it, or until like I don't know, the Mariners start hitting, until the Astros finally fall off. Like we'll see the Royals and the Twins and Detroit finally get there. The problem with a lot of those teams, and it's funny, it seems to be both Central teams with the Pirates too. They don't spend money. So while every time you do see this rise, that it's like, man, we're gonna talk different about all these teams. They don't necessarily go out and make that big splash. It's like they're almost like comfortable in their own neighborhood. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the Braves, I think even though they're struggling, they're seeing a lot of strides out of players like Spencer Schwallenbach, who is like absolutely pitching the hell out that ball this year. They're gonna get Acuna back. They're gonna get Spencer Strider
They
back.
did just lose
Um,
Lopez.
yeah, and it's gonna be different. I think the Braves. I just don't like that they didn't take at least one game. Like you're talking about like full 7 games, like you just didn't take one, and they looked very, very bad against the Dodgers. And I get it, it's the Dodgers, but they looked terrible against the Dodgers.
Their
It wasn't
batting
like the
averages are
Tigers.
terrible.
Tigers who got swept by the Tigers got swept by the Dodgers, and I thought they looked fine. Like I like their performance in getting swept by the Dodgers made me believe in the Tigers even more. And now look at them; they look like a really good team. I know they're beating on the White Sox right now, but
Hey,
for
take
the
it where game
slow
you
start
can.
that shocked me the most, I mean, honestly, I don't know if I'm too shocked at any of these, because we weren't high on the Braves coming in. The Reds, it's kind of like this needs to happen and that needs to happen and this needs to happen and that needs to happen. The Twins, I don't believe in them. I mean, like if you really go and look at the Twins roster and you actually break it down, Pablo Lopez is one of the biggest piece of shits in the league these days. Joe Ryan is like
You do
the
not like
only.
Pablo Lopez. I swear you have
He
like a
is
personal
terrible,
vendetta
bro.
against him.
He
I
is
feel like
terrible.
every episode you can take a shot at him, you do.
It's just when I see a stat come on my screen that says this pitcher is statistically the worst pitcher in the league, I will forever roast someone after that.
It's so like
Oh,
I
speaking
swear
of,
that.
Patrick
ev-
Corbin got called up to the Rangers yesterday in replacement of Jack Leiter, who's already on the IL.
Oh shit! I didn't know Leiter was already on the IL. That
Well, it's a
sucks.
blister. It's not like it's anything
Oh yeah,
crazy, but I
just
guess he got like a
one
really, really
start.
bad blister on his hand.
Yeah, it'll probably just be one sport.
But like
One
calling up
start.
Patrick Corbin, like you guys did not have any any other
Yo,
options whatsoever.
I would love to see him go off. Just absolutely go off, and he
Bro.
becomes
No,
like,
because if Patrick Corbin comes back, this reinvented, like the good
dude.
Patrick Corbin that we
Imagine,
signed him for. Oh my god,
dude.
bro.
Imagine this is Patrick Corbin. Marking it now. It is 4/5/25. We're marking it right now. Patrick Corbin, comeback player of the year for the Rangers. He's going to join Jacob deGrom in the rotation. They're going to bring in old Cy. He won the Cy Young, right? Patrick Corbin one
Who?
time. Didn't
No,
Patrick Corbin win it with the Arizona
no,
Diamondbacks?
no. I think he came close, but no, he
Oh,
had
I think I'm
Tommy
thinking
John.
of no. You know what it is? I'm
That
mixing up
year that
Robbie
I think
Ray.
the year that he was hyped that he was gonna win the Cy Young, he ended up with Tommy John, which was his
Okay,
second year in the league.
I always get him and the Robbie, like him and Robbie Ray, obviously very similar. Lefties
Yeah, his last
play
year
for
for the
Arizona.
Diamondbacks, he finished fifth in the Cy Young voting.
Okay, so either way though, it's just, you're just getting the
Yeah.
old squad back together. They're gonna find something left in the Corbin tank, and he's gonna go out and he's gonna be comeback player of the year. I'm calling.
Well, I mean, I think there's too many options like that are injured right now. Like Leiter's coming back. John Gray is going to come back one day. I think Patrick Corbin will find himself a nice spot in the bullpen or a nice spot in a Uber back on to wherever he lives. I don't know where he lives, but that's all beside the point. But yeah, the Twins. I mean, like they only have one good starter, like one starter that I would rely on, which is Joe Ryan. And then you look at their lineup, and you consider Brooks Lee, being hurt, and Royce Lewis being hurt. Byron Buxton's going to join them, and Carlos Correa is going to join them at some point. Ty France is hitting in the middle of their lineup. Like it's really not a lot of good things going on in Minnesota right now.
Oh, dude, their whole team is like so oddly built because they took so many contracts or they have so many players that just like won't work out injury wise or even up
And
and
it's
down
sad,
performance
man. I
wise.
really want Royce Lewis to work out. I love that guy, man.
I know he's actually one of my favorites too. I had the hell. I actually took their third, or I guess he's their first baseman now. That just had a home run. Miranda, had a home run today.
Juan Miranda. He was
Yeah,
scorching hot last year, if you remember. But one guy, I know you mentioned that maybe he needs to like retire. The one guy that I think really needs to retire is Max Scherzer. Please, for the love of God, for the love of baseball, for the love of all of the fans, please stop playing. You are putting such a sour taste in everyone's mouth because for the last 4 years you just keep going out there and getting hurt, coming back, getting hurt, coming back, getting hurt, dead arm, broken neck, fucking broken shoulder, fucking cramps, like whatever the fuck he gets. It
he's.
seems like it's every time he starts, there's an injury.
It's so weird with him because first off, I actually forgot for most of the year that he. Well, I know I don't mean through the regular season, but I kind of forgot he was on Toronto. Like I
Yeah,
forgot they actually signed him, and the thing about him is that you got to look at it from two ways. It's either a greedy way or a sad way, and I'll break it down quick. He's 42, 43, I think, around that age, maybe 41. Does he really think Toronto is winning a World Series this year? No.
not a chance.
Does he even think that there's probably a good chance they aren't even making the playoffs, right? So his scenario is I just want to sign with Toronto and get paid. Or his scenario is I want to sign with Toronto, pitch well, get paid, and go somewhere else. Or it's I just want to pitch. It's one of those things like because he's getting to the point now where he didn't just go to Toronto because he actually thinks they're going to win something. He's in it for himself, money, or just pride of pitching. So it's to the point where hey, if you don't pitch well this year, I don't think it's even worth it for you to just like come back. You've accomplished so much. You've made
So
so
much
much
like you would.
money. Go
Like
out
I
on a
almost
high note,
forget,
man.
like, bro, he was on my team and he's gonna go into the
I
Hall of
know.
Fame with a fucking Nationals hat on, and it's just like, please stop. Like, I have such a negative. Like when I think of Max Scherzer, it's not even positive anymore, and I hate that.
I know, and it's sad too because even like his whole Mets tenure, he actually did pretty good for the Mets. He got so much hate because
Yeah,
of the
the
wild
times that he
card
played,
game.
I can agree with that.
Dude, his first year, he was actually good for the Mets. He just got so much hate for the wild card. But now, when you think about the fact that Max Scherzer is on like Toronto, like if he goes to one more random team, I'm actually gonna get
He's gonna
hurt
be on the White
inside.
Sox next
Dude,
year.
like think about if like all of a sudden he goes to like, I mean he not the Rockies. I couldn't send him there, but like I don't know, like the Pirates. Like give me like a weird NL Central team. Like even if he like say if he went to like the Athletics, like just something like weird like that where it's like that's where it would really get disappointing to me. So my thing with him is like and also too let's just look at it in this perspective.
I'm just thinking of Max Scherzer on the
I
Rockies.
I know and it's funny because I'm trying to think of him somewhere else too because let's say Toronto
Come back
doesn't
to the
make
Nationals for one more and then go. Fuck it.
that's what
We ain't
he
got nothing
should
to
do.
play for. I mean, I agree. He got to go. But is there
Long
any
story
individual
short,
players that you want to highlight, whether it be slow start, hot start, anything like that? I mean, all I want to say is that Yordan Alvarez needs to get his shit together. I think it's like he's
I
having
already
a
kind of referenced
very
Pete, so you know.
yeah. I mean, Yordan's having like a gross start to the season. Jack Leiter, we talked about him. I think it's amazing the way he's come back and he's finally showcasing the talent that we all thought that he would have. CJ Abrams is looking like Barry Bonds out there, for the Nationals. That's kind of cool.
Anthony
I think
Volpe's
he's on
looking good.
steroids. I'm sorry. I think CJ Abrams is absolutely on
He could
steroids.
be, man. He's joining the Profar train. Maybe Anthony Volpe is too, with just not just the torpedo bat, but steroids as well. He's has at least 4 home runs already. Him, Jazz are doing really well. Goldie's actually looking a little bit better. Judge is obviously on fire. I don't even need to reference Judge in these segments where we talk about players that are on fire because I feel like Judge is just a given. Same thing with Otani. But yeah, there's a lot of players that are on fire right now. But definitely the one I touched on the earliest was Pete. He's cooking with gas right now.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Aaron Judge is off to his first good start to the season.
Yeah, I know. Dude, imagine if he actually does this all year because I'm thinking about like his totals from last year because imagine if he actually hit good in April
Bro, he
last
could.
year.
The way he started now, I honestly, this is like the only thing that's missing out of Aaron Judge's game is that at some point every single season he slows up. Every season he'll have a point where he just won't hit home runs. I think if he could just stay consistent one year and we can just get rid of that Barry Bonds record and it could just be in somebody else's hands,
That would be
I think,
so great. You would never have
bro,
to
it would
hear
be
about it
so
anymore.
cool to witness, bro. We would have to spend the money to go. Like, we're in New York. We would have to spend the money to go see that.
I'll tell you one thing: if he is one game away from breaking the actual record, you wouldn't even be able to get him for minimum $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Minimum, and it would
Yeah,
probably actually
Yankees
be
are like set for the rest of
to be.
the generation.
Dude, think about this. Until he hits it, every single game, home or away, would probably sell for like $1,000 a ticket minimum. It would have
Yeah.
to be, right? Or at
I
least I don't
mean,
know. Or I don't know if the whole stadium would be 1,000 a ticket, but let's just say this: the outfield section would be, because everybody would be trying to catch that ball. Because, dude, imagine you catch the ball that breaks the home run record. Dude, that ball is selling for fucking millions. Millions, dude. That would be, dude, a Paul Skeens signed
bro,
ball
that
would
is a
for
ball I would fight for. Like if we got like yo, I know the home run seats would probably cost more than the seats behind home plate
oh
for the first time
oh
ever. For the
god,
first time ever.
dude, those seats. I guarantee you, what would happen is like people would start to buy them like weeks.
They would
and
just
weeks
be
in
mad old
advance.
white people in those seats because they're the only people that can
Dude,
afford.
dude, it would be like I would, like you said, I would fight for that ball. Like I would take a broken leg for that ball easily. No question asked. Like you're talking probably what 5-10 million, maybe. It probably would actually be more than that because I'm pretty sure. What was it? Not Otani's ball. Well, I know Skeens' ball recently sold for a couple grand. Was it Otani? I think it was Otani's one. The one Otani hit last year, like that went for a couple million. Dude, this
Yeah,
one would probably go for close to 10, if not more. Actually, The home
Imagine
run
you're the
record?
fan that gets suckered into giving it back.
No, God, you could never. Even if Judge is your favorite player, you could never give that back. I'm honestly
Bro,
trying to
I
think off
would
the.
be
It'd
like
probably be
driving
about
home. I would
minimum
be
10
driving
mil.
home with the ball in my seat, like just looking around, looking behind me, making sure no one's
You,
stalking me or following me.
you would legitimately have to grab it and run to security. Just instantly run to
Well, I
an
think they
usher.
got that they got it ready now because I think I remember when who did you just bring up? The
Otani.
Shohei Otani. Like when whoever like caught that ball, like security immediately went to their seat and on like bro, your
That's
experience as a
crazy to think. Like to
bro,
think about.
your experience like imagine like you catch the ball and it's like a historic game and like now you're out of it, like you can't even watch the rest of the
Yeah,
game.
like
You're out.
yeah. They just like instantly. You can't even celebrate the home run. They just instantly grab you
They're just
in
like,
an
all right, buddy,
undercover
we gotta go.
situation. That's crazy. And you know what though? Everybody profits from it, man. Dude,
Yeah.
that guy that got that ball, man, couple mil, good for him. Good for him.
No, for real. I mean, just to catch a fucking baseball, like that,
I've never caught a home
it's
run ball.
crazy the amount of money that baseball alone has been able to generate through trading cards, through memorabilia, through like just the players playing for like $40 million a year just to
Dude,
fucking hit a ball.
I
It's
know
incredible.
it is crazy when you think about it, especially like cards, like when you really just think about how much value goes
Piece
for.
of fucking cardboard, bro. That's kind of shiny. Might have an autograph
I
on
know,
it.
and don't get me wrong, it's just like the valueness of like that. It could just be like a one of a player, just like a random player, and it's still just the value of it that is just like it's crazy how much we put a price on that, which I also do too. I love it.
Man, yeah, so do I. I'm calling it fucking cardboard. But all right, so give me one player who is really making the difference for their team early on in the season. Don't say someone obvious like Aaron Judge, though.
I
He's like,
I
that
was
was my answer.
no, I was gonna say Pete Alonso, but we talked about him already. Um, give me. You start first because I just want to
Yeah.
quick bring up the
So
second one I was
I
gonna
have an
bring. I just
honorable
want to
mention. My
get rid
honorable
of it.
mention is Corbin Carroll. I think he's gotten off to a good start to the season. I think he's eased a lot of Diamondback fans and even the organization itself from that insanely bad season that he had last year. I think if Corbin Carroll can continue producing like this, I think not only are the Diamondbacks contenders to make the playoffs, I think they're contenders to win the whole thing. I don't think, and I'll say it on this podcast, I don't think that the Dodgers are for sure your World Series champions this year, even though they should be. Listen, the playoffs are crazy. We've seen that so many years in a row. You never know what's going to happen when we get there. I do think the Diamondbacks are World Series contenders as it stands right now. But the person that I have Jazz Chisholm Jr. He's kind of been the Robin to Aaron Judge's Batman, and we were kind of expecting this from maybe Bellinger, Goldschmidt, maybe Jason Dominguez, but like Jazz Chisholm Jr. is coming out here reminding people why he was top 30 player on all of these fantasy draft boards and why he was this top player getting all this overhype, that he was getting early on in his career with the Marlins. I think Jazz Chisholm Jr. he keeps going like this. He's gonna put up a monstrous year because we're talking about a guy that can hit the ball, can steal, can field decently well, and now he has a power stroke with his torpedo bat. Hell yeah, I got Jazz Chisholm Jr. Torpedo me up, baby.
So corny. I was actually gonna go along with Paul Goldschmidt, but I want to keep it a different point from the Yankees because the thing I was gonna say about him is how versatile he is at the age of 37, hitting leadoff for them for a good handful of games. But I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and go over to the Windy City, Nashville. No, Chicago. Let's go to Chicago.
Okay.
Chicago 7-4. Another good game today by Kyle Tucker. Looks like that trade so far right now is playing out well. And
They
to be
like with his hot start, they gotta fucking extend him, bro.
God fucking extended.
Before he ends up on
Fix
the
him with
fucking Yankees, bro. They gotta extend him. Like you cannot sit here and be the Chicago Cubs, this storied franchise that you've always had. All the fans that love coming to the ballpark, whether they suck or they don't suck. You get a guy like Kyle Tucker who can easily be the face of the franchise the next 5+ years, and you're just gonna let him walk away. No way, man. That's going to be one of the biggest blunders in sports if they let him go.
I know, and obviously, it's actually a good thing though for him is that if he actually does get a full year under his belt, to prove that like okay, I could play in this city, I could play for this team, I can win here. So I think it also for him it's good too if they do bring him back to be like you know he has a he has experience here, but it's good for the Cubs, man. I mean, 7-4 right now, leading the division with the way the Brewers' offense has looked, or excuse me, their pitching staff has looked recently. I mean, it's week one. I know obviously only 11 games for them, 7-4, but it's still well, week two because they had that early start with
They're
Tokyo.
relying on Nestor Cortez, man. I don't.
I know, but and
It's not a good formula.
the Cubs pitching staff obviously isn't terrible, especially with Shota at top there. So you know what? I'm just glad for the Cubs. They have such a like a cool nostalgic team. Even though I'm not like the Mets battled the Cubs in 2015, so I always have this like weird like not rival kind of thing with Cubs, but like you know old battle buddies kind of thing. But they're just such like a cool, fun franchise. Like I always feel like it's fun when the Cubs are good.
I agree. I mean, because it's just like those fans, they show up no matter what. They sing the hell out of the seventh inning, anthem. It's good. It's cool. They just can't let Kyle Tucker go.
Not at all. Not at all.
So we're gonna play a game here. We're starting to get to the end of this episode. We're just about there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a generator, and I'm gonna do a random generator for Wolf. Wolf is gonna do a random generator for me, and we're gonna pick a random year from 2010 on and a random team, and we have to try to guess as many players in their opening day lineup and starting rotation as we can. Okay.
So you think you
All
don't
right.
have it?
Bet. All right.
All
Fuck
right.
it. Let's go.
It's the 2018 Cincinnati Reds.
Oh shit! That's a terrible one to start.
I know, dude. I honestly don't even know.
Okay, that's fine.
I
Joey
will
Votto.
give you one hint. We can give each other the record.
Okay, I don't even care about that.
It's there are 67 and 95.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay,
Okay, so who was there? So all right, so yeah, right off the bat, Joey Votto. That
Joey
was the first
Votto.
baseman. So we'll just
Jesse.
do It's only gonna be 4 because there's no DH right now. So it's just the 4 or the
Okay.
8 positions. Excuse me. So you can
Um,
just get any one in order that you want.
was Jesse Winker there?
He was there, but he was their bench bat. So I'll just take that as their like 4th outfielder.
Okay. Jesus Wolf. Tucker Barnhart.
He was their catcher. So
Oh
two
my
for
God.
2.
His name was just Tucker Barnhart.
2 for 2.
Who was their fucking who was that guy?
You'll
I was
know
just
every
thinking,
single one of their names, but like a handful of names you probably haven't heard in a few years.
no, there's one name. Derek Dietrich.
No, he was not there at the time. So no, so that is your. We'll say that's like your first. How many strikes you got? That's like your first strike.
Okay. Was Homer Bailey still there as a starting
Uh,
pitcher?
I wasn't gonna do starting pitching, but
Oh, okay.
he is still there just to give you like if you get it right, I'll let
Okay.
you know.
So we're only doing hitting.
Yeah, the 8 positions.
Bro, I don't even know who.
So you
I
got
don't even know.
second, short. You have the whole infield except first, and then the whole outfield. You got catcher and you got first already.
Oh, fuck me, man. Because I know Brandon Phillips he already retired, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're thinking a little bit. It's not as like
This
one
is
of these
hard,
guys
dude.
is still very prominent. I'll say that in baseball. Like to the point where I'm pretty sure you brought up his name.
Bro,
like,
I'm
in the
looking
last
at
couple days.
MLB The Show like it's gonna give me some fucking answers. This is actually harder than I actually ever imagined that it would be.
There is one of these cards that was a super good card in MLB The Show, like a silver card.
Oh wait, didn't Aquino Estrides, is that his first name? Aquino? Didn't
No.
he go off this year?
Nope.
No.
I mean, not in the main roster. No.
Oh my god.
One of them is a speedster.
Billy Hamilton.
Boom, center field, Billy
Okay.
Hamilton. All right, so you got Tucker,
third base,
Votto.
Eugenio Suarez.
There you go. All right, there you
Okay.
go. 4 for 4.
Fuck, brother. Like it would be like one of the worst teams in the league at the point,
You should
dude.
get
I don't.
second base. I'm pretty sure he hit 4 home runs in one game.
I
He's
don't
almost like a bicycle, but he's not.
know. Adam Duvall.
He's one of them. He's their left fielder, actually. That wasn't the guy I was
Okay.
describing, though. He's not. He's
Uh,
not a bicycle, and he hit 4 home runs in one game.
he's not a bicycle. What wolf?
Yeah, he's not a bicycle.
um, he's not a fucking Scooter Jeanette.
Scooter Jeanette. Yeah. He
He's
got
not a
it.
bicycle. So I started thinking of things that aren't bicycle, and I fucking Scooter just popped.
Fuck yeah, Scooter Jeanette. I'll say this: the last two. So you got 7 right. I'll give you that. That's pretty good. 7 right. The last two, there's
Oh,
no
what
way you're
spots do I
getting.
have left open?
Right field and shortstop. So who was the Reds shortstop and who was their right field? I will admit, now that you know Scooter Jeanette was on the team, you should be able to think more of like that era of Reds.
Scott Schebler, is he one of the outfielder spots?
Yes, so he was right field. There you go. That
Oh
was that
fuck!
year.
So who's their short? Oh, I gotta go perfect on this. Who's their fucking shortstop?
You know what's weird about their shortstop is I always mixed him up with Suarez. Not like mixed them up, but they always just seem so similar to me. Like
I don't
with their
know, dude.
names.
I actually don't know the shortstop.
He played for the Mets actually. Jose Peraza.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. He was definitely like the hardest one.
All
In my
right,
opinion.
that was good. That was good. That
Yeah.
that was a good suggestion, Wolf. That was
Not
good.
bad. Not bad.
All right, so I'm gonna generate 1, 2, 3. Okay,
See,
so
I'm
you
so bad
also
with this because it's those things where it's like I don't remember the names off the top of my head. But if someone started telling me the names, I'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah, that's right."
well,
Scooter
like for
Jeanette,
me,
Scott
I have to
Schebler.
just go down a rabbit hole, and I just have to think Cincinnati, and it's just I don't want to think Cincinnati.
I know. I'm so bad with AL teams too. Like if you were like 2017 Tigers, I don't even know if I'd get one player right other than Mickey.
All right, I'm spinning the wheel, so it's gonna be 2018. The 2018 Angels, and just give me 1 second to pull up their roster. It's not. I don't. That's not the worst. So they finished 80 and 82.
80 and 82. Okay, so obviously Trout's there.
Yep, Mike Trout is the center fielder.
Oh, Tani wasn't there yet, was he?
Otani was their DH
Oh, okay. So then Albert Pujols was probably still there.
as their first baseman.
It was Max Stassi their catcher.
No, strike one. This is not bad. I think I would have been able to got
Like,
this. Besides
see,
one
this is the
player.
problem. Is like I know like one of the guys that would be there, but it's probably not. It's probably too late. Like I don't know if Justin Upton's still there.
Yep, left fielder.
Okay. So I have their whole outfield then.
No, you need their right fielder.
Isn't that Otani? Or is he?
No, he was their DH.
Okay. See, this is the problem because the guy I know, I don't. I think this is too early. So like, is. And I'm getting both of them mixed up. It's either like Taylor Ward or Brandon. Was Brandon Marsh still there?
No, I don't think he was even a
is
thing
it-
yet.
See, that's the problem. Yeah, it's too early.
All right, so their catcher is probably one of the worst hitting catchers of all time.
Uh, that doesn't help me.
He's just a great hitter, or he's a great fielder,
Was
like
it
one of the best
Martin
fielding.
Maldonado?
Yep,
I
that's
didn't
their
remember if he
catcher.
played there before or after that. Was he before?
All right, so the
Well, actually, that
the
was
second
18. So he was
baseman.
with the Astros 17 then?
Who?
Or was he 19, Maldonado?
I believe it was the year after this.
Okay, so that's what screwed me up. I thought he was there before that. And then second base would be David Fletcher.
Nope.
Fuck. See, this is the problem with them. I'm mixing.
He was a
This
rookie
is-
though. He came up and took the starting position, but he wasn't their opening day second baseman. So for second baseman, this guy was old. He was 36. He was on their rival in the AL West for several years.
I have no idea. I don't know much about the Angels. I can't even think of their third baseman to be honest either.
They're who?
I can't think of like second, short, and
Oh,
third.
short. I think should be easy. Just think about one of the best
Adrielson
fielding short.
Simmons, yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Third base would
You're gonna
be
be like, oh, when I tell you the right fielder. Third base, I don't think you'll get, and second base, I don't think you'll get.
18. No, Josh Hamilton was not there still. No
No,
way.
he did cocaine again.
Yeah. It wasn't
Honestly, I think he was on the Rangers at this point, I believe.
Angels. Let me think about this. That would have been the year.
So yeah, their 36-year-old. He played most of his career for the Rangers.
Elvis Andres?
No,
And this was for their outfield?
second base.
For the Rangers. It's not fucking Odor. I can't. Honestly, I'm blanking. I honestly don't know the rest of this. I have
Wow, so I
no
win.
idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
So their second base was Ian Kinsler.
He was a fucking angel? I don't even remember
Yeah, I
that.
think it was his last year.
So honestly, I don't even remember him being an angel, so I 100% would have got that wrong.
Third base was
You know
Luis
what's weird
Valbuena.
too? Is that that's the problem with these games, because even though you're like Rangers second baseman, I actually thought of Ian Kinsler, but I'm like, Ian Kinsler was never a fucking angel. So that's the thing that like screwed me up. So and
Yeah,
what was the other
but
ones?
the third base was Luis Valbuena
Yeah, 100% would
and
not have
right
just guessed
fielder
that.
Cole Calhoun.
See, okay, those are the three names. All right, Kinsler, I completely forgot was an angel. Those other two are those names where it's like a Scott Schebler territory, where
Yeah.
it's like I know them once you said them, but I never would have guessed that off the top of my head.
I forgot what made me think of Scott Schebler. It was what player
Scooter
did
Jeanette.
I guess? Yeah,
Scooter
Scooter
Jeanette.
Jeanette.
That's what
I
I'm
just
saying. You kind of put
remember
two and two together. Yeah.
there was a moment like Scott Schebler and Scooter Jeanette fucked the Nationals that I remember. So yeah.
Jesus. God, I'll admit the fact that I even at least got half of it right. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that.
Yeah,
The
no,
other
I
guy,
mean the 2018 Angel, like 2018 is like so far from like today.
because and it's funny. Who was the other guy that was their catcher? It was Max Stassi, Logan O'Hoppe. Wasn't there like one other guy I'm thinking of during that like
Renee
frame?
Rivera. I'm just playing.
Not like 2000. I want to say like 2000, 2020, 2021 Angels, maybe 19.
No, it's Max Stassi,
Oh, excuse
Jason
me.
Castro. Jonathan Lucroy, maybe? He was only there for
Maybe
like
it was
half a year.
Stassi. I guess it was Stassi.
Max Stassi was their catcher for a while.
Yeah, I guess it was him that I was thinking of.
Kurt Suzuki, maybe?
No, I guess it was just Stassi I was thinking of.
No. Anyway, moving on. Let's do a 2005 MLB redraft. So, starting off at number one, the Arizona Diamondbacks, who originally drafted Justin Upton as a shortstop with the first pick in the MLB draft. Yes, fun fact: Justin Upton was a shortstop before. Who do you think goes first here?
Um, had it open there. I think it would be. I mean, personally, I think it should be Buster Posey going first.
And I would
Because
agree with that. I have Buster Posey down. He was drafted like one of the last picks in the entire draft, but he didn't sign. But he still counts for this redraft. Buster Posey, number one to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think, Justin Upton was a good pick though. Like let's not get that messed up. I think Justin Upton had some great years out there in Arizona. He was like one of the ones that got them kickstarted back into winning some games again. But number two, and it's crazy, Justin Upton isn't even on this list for me. But number two, the Kansas City Royals. Who would you take?
it's funny. I had the list up on the side. Don't know where it went for some reason. This is where it gets a little controversial.
Really?
Unless I'm forgetting someone. I think I am.
So for the Royals, I have Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I almost was thinking Tim Lincecum, But
Long time, Timmy Jim.
yeah, it's just the fact that he just didn't get enough years.
Yeah.
I think I'll be honest, dude. I actually think there's a good merit that Ryan Zimmerman could be in there. Cause like just the longevity, you gotta remember like McCutcheon bounced
I
around
just,
a
if
lot.
he didn't get hurt so much, man, he probably would have ended up one of the best players like
I kind
in
of feel like the
base.
same with him with McCutcheon. Like if he stuck
Yeah.
around with the Pirates, if they actually, the thing about him that sucked is that they never built around him. But yeah,
They've never built around anybody.
I guess McCutcheon could be the second one. Yeah, that one's that. Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of argument to be made about a couple spots for that. But McCutcheon, I like
Well, the
second.
Seattle Mariners, they were the only ones in like the top 7 that didn't pick an all-star somehow. So we get to pick an all-star for them. So who would you pick?
Honestly, I am gonna go Ryan Zimmerman here.
Ryan Zimmerman?
Dude, you know
See,
what?
I had Tim Lincecum just because of the Cy Youngs.
Yeah, it's either him or Zimmerman. Oh man, I probably would go Lincecum, but it's so close.
Yeah,
between
because
the two of
imagine
them.
Tim Lincecum and Felix Hernandez 1-2 in that rotation.
I know.
Oh,
I'll be honest. I think you're underrating your boy a little bit, dude. He had what, almost like 20 years, or
listen, man.
17
So
years.
I'll explain my relationship with Ryan Zimmerman. This is random. I never thought I'd talk. We're like
I mean, he won you a
107
World
episodes into
Series.
this shit. But like the thing with Ryan Zimmerman is like of all the good years the Nationals had,
Oh, here we go.
we were just missing Ryan Zimmerman, man. He was never there, bro. And if he was there,
Oh
he was
no!
terrible, bro. So
All
like
right.
but he did have a really good comeback year, that the year that we won the World Series, or the year before that, I believe, and then he was injured the year we won the World Series, but he came back towards the end and then helped us get there. But I cannot put Ryan Zimmerman above Tim
You know
Lincecum just
what?
because Tim Lincecum won 2
I,
Cy Youngs, the
I'll
no
say it.
hitters, all that good stuff.
I actually have a couple guys that I'm going to put in front of Zimmerman. Then, so right now I'm going to take Lincecum next. Then yes, but I do have someone else.
On the Mariners,
Yes. Then for the Nationals, I have someone different than Zimmerman, even though I think Zimmerman's a good pick for them.
well, the Washington Nationals, I'm going Mr. Steroids himself.
Yep.
I'm going
Yep.
Ryan Braun because
Me
listen, before
too.
he took the steroids and even after, like I thought he was a really good player. That would have been very controversial if that happened to a player on the on the Nationals like that. But yeah, no, I go Ryan Braun on the Washington Nationals. Like I think that would have been a beautiful time.
Yeah, I was going to say he's definitely got like. It's so hard to see what would have happened without the steroid stuff, but he had so much skill that I have to
Bro,
put
he was
him.
one of my favorite players
I
at
know,
the
me
time of
too.
him doing steroids, man.
I know, me
And
too. I
like
was
I would
so
have been fine if
devastated.
he was just like, my bad, guys, you got me. I'm an idiot. But he got that FedEx worker fired on his way out. He did the fake tears at the press conference. He really lit it up all the way until Alex Rodriguez got caught with that clinic bullshit that also had Ryan Braun's name
Yeah,
on it. And he was just like, yeah, whatever, I did it, whatever.
he tried to pull like Semitism cards and stuff. It was getting really weird with that. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way.
Well,
His
because I
steroid
was
was
hyped
going.
because it was like Ryan Braun did steroids. Everyone was heartbroken. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, FedEx messed with my sample. Look at this. But it just so happened he took the most steroids anyone has ever taken in the history of fucking
Isn't
baseball.
that crazy? And then like you never even hear about
Stolen
him anymore.
MVP from Matt Kemp.
And you never hear about him anymore. He just wrote his legacy in stone.
Yeah, he just slipped off into the shadows and just said, all right, fuck me, I guess. He'll
Peace.
come back in like 10 years, go into the Brewers Hall of Fame or whatever.
His
But
coaching
speaking of the
staff.
Brewers, they're next. This is where I would put Ryan Zimmerman, realistically.
I would, but
There's Justin Upton, but
I'm
I put Zimmerman above.
up. There's like three cases to be big cases to me to be made left. Troy Tulowitzki,
Ooh,
Upton, and I would even throw John Axford in the mix. Like, dude, honestly, like I think John Axford had some solid years, but I think reliever wise, I'll probably keep him at the bottom of the list. But I might actually go. It's so weird because the thing with Tulowitzki is he had a back injury, I think, right?
he had everything that you
Yeah,
can
so
imagine.
I'll put Zimmerman first, then Tulo. As much as I hate to say it,
Yeah, so Milwaukee Brewers take Ryan Zimmerman. Fire. That's all. So we're just gonna do the top 5. Segment done. Boom. So the Diamondbacks take Buster Posey. The Kansas City Royals take Andrew McCutchen. The Mariners take Tim Lincecum. The Nationals take Ryan Braun, which would have been a crazy ride to be on. And then and then the Brewers take Ryan Zimmerman, which I don't know. I feel like that Brewers Ryan Zimmerman matchup, I feel like that feels right.
Yeah, I like that. I will say one thing that is weird when you think about all these names. Um, like Zimmerman retired fairly recently. Troy Tulowitzki made it towards the end of the decade. But then when you think about like guys like Ryan Braun and Lincecum, it's like it's almost weird to think they were even in the same draft class as these guys. It feels like they were
Yeah.
like a decade earlier.
Yeah, right.
So it's crazy.
All right, so last segment before we move on to our conclusion. Minute on the clock, so you only have a minute to answer these questions, which will take us right to our time limit. And then plus we also have to cut out a little bit, so I think we'll be a little bit under an hour and a half. So minute on the clock. Just give some quick answers, maybe a tiny bit of explanation. Who, if you had to make a top 5 player power rankings right now, how would it go?
Judge would be number one. Otani would be number two. Pete Alonso would be number three.
Big Pete.
Honestly, I'm gonna come in with a hot take. I actually think Paul Skeens is number four, and I think honestly, I mean, this could go in either way. There's so many hot guys right now, but I'm just gonna throw in
Hey
Mookie right
yo,
there. Yeah, that actually, fuck, that came out really weird.
look at all the fucking hot
Yeah,
guys.
Mookie. I'm gonna throw in Mookie. He's been on fire
Okay.
too.
That was off the top of the head, and that was nice. So I got Aaron Judge number one. Agree with you, dude. Scorching MVP last year.
I
Shohei
know Mike
Otani
was
number
listing some
two.
names.
Number three, I got Fernando
Suarez.
Tatis Jr. He's hitting the hell out the ball. He's stealing bases. He's looking, everything I hyped him up to be. Number four, I got Zach Wheeler. Honestly, one of the best pitchers in baseball is also proving it. He has well under a 2 ERA. He's pitching well. But number five, I got Kyle Tucker.
I
Um,
like it. I like it.
Yeah, he's killing it, man, and it's just another year of Kyle Tucker killing it. At some point, people are gonna have to give him his flowers. But all right, top 3 team power rankings, and then I'll go. Number one, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't think like anyone really touches them because they're off to the best start in the major leagues. But number two, I got the Texas Rangers. Shocker, maybe not. But they're sitting on top of the AL West. Their pitching is looking good. Their hitting is looking good. Everything seems to be going really well right now for them. And then number three, I got the New York Yankees, which seems to be the best offense in baseball right now. So that's my 1, 2, 3.
Um, I mean, it's pretty much hard to argue with that. I mean, that's what mine is too. The only one I would, you know what, I'm gonna swap out the Yankees. The Dodgers are first. I think the Rangers are second. No, I lied. Dodgers are first. Rangers are third. I'm gonna put San Diego second. I think San Diego is really good right now, and I know technically they have a loss more than the Giants, but I think San Diego has such a good team right now. They have so many pieces still in place that I think they're actually like one of my top 3 teams right now.
All right, fair enough. One manager that is on the hot seat.
There's so many managers right now that are on the hot seat, but hot take, I'm actually gonna say Rob Thompson with the Phillies. I
Oh
actually
wow,
think, and the reason
wow!
I say that is, hear me out.
I didn't expect that.
The Phillies are getting progressively worse in the postseason, and I feel like what happens is that they cruise through the regular season. They're almost kind of reminds me of what Aaron Boone does with the Yankees, where you get these expectations they're just going to go to the playoffs. So when they actually get there, they're almost like unprepared or lackadaisical on it, or just assuming they're going to be there. That they just keep getting worse and worse and worse. I'm not saying the Yankees are getting worse, but with the Phillies case, so I feel like, dude, if they like go to the playoffs and like don't even get past the first round, say this time, I actually think he could be on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, I would have put with that logic, I would have put Aaron Boone there. I mean, like we're talking
He
about,
just
he
got the
probably should have been
extension, so I don't
fired.
know why I didn't.
Bro, this dude is the luckiest guy. Like he probably should have been fired like 2 years ago, and then
I know.
last year Juan Soto helps carry them to the fucking World Series. This year he has all the excuses with all the injuries. fucking blows. But I
Well, he
got
should
I
have
got the
got.
Orioles.
Not to interrupt quick, but he actually am shocked got the extension because he also did the Nestor thing, where he
Yeah.
brought in Nestor against Freeman in that extra innings.
Well, I mean, I got Brandon Hyde of the Orioles. I think
That's a good one. That's a really
if
good
they
one.
don't get out of the first round, he's got to go.
Yep,
I
that's
mean,
a
we're
solid
talking
one.
about the last 2 years straight. This has been a fairly young, hard hitting team, and they have not been excited to play one playoff game. They have not been motivated. Nothing. He doesn't push the right buttons coming out of the bullpen usually. It drives me freaking nuts, and I don't know how he's still there after last year. If you're really a team that's really trying to make a mark and make the World Series soon, I would have gotten rid of him. I don't think he's good at all.
I
But
like that. That's a good choice.
one more question. Top three performances of the season so far, if you could think of them off the top of your head.
I mean, I keep saying it, but I obviously have to do Pete though because I thought at first it was the grand slam, but dude, that 3-run homer, it was a top performance because it
It
wasn't
was
just a
clutch.
3-run homer, but he had all the RBIs with that homer at that point in the game too. So that's number one. Judge's fucking what was it? His 3 home run game, or did he have three
Yeah.
home runs, or was three in or the whole
Yep.
series really? Yeah, like
He had like three
that's
home runs in like the fourth inning.
yeah. I was gonna say that was just incredible.
Second day of
Um,
the season.
and then I actually mentioned it before, but I'm just gonna throw it out there because to me it's still really impressive. Fucking Mackenzie Gore with 13 strikeouts, man. It really is. I needed to throw in a pitching there a performance, and I know obviously Skeens had a
But for
couple of
his
good
first start of the
performances, but
season too.
exactly, and like I did
First
like
game,
David
opening day.
Peterson's. Yep, 13 strikeouts, man. I mean, 11's good. There's a couple guys that actually had 11, but 13 is otherworldly.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't have Mackenzie Gore on this list, but that's because of the three that I have. I have Aaron Judge's 3 home run game. I mean, obviously that was huge. And I mean, if you're a Yankees fan and you're anyone that was nervous about what Aaron Judge is going to do this season or what the team is going to do, was definitely a very comforting thing to see. The second one, I got Mookie Betts, the 2 home run game. Like I said, one of them being a walk-off. It was such a back-and-forth game between the Tigers and the Dodgers. The Tigers even went up, I believe, by 2 or 3 runs. Dodgers stormed back. They win the game. And then I got Jose Ramirez last night. 3 home run game. Propelled them all the way over the Angels. Won me money. They won me a bet, so I have to go with Jose Ramirez here.
That's
I
crazy.
needed them to get 4 runs, and he had 4 RBIs alone. So yeah, man, Jose Ramirez, brother.
That's nutty. That's nutty. Much deserved. I love Jose Ramirez.
But why don't you take us away, Wolf, for the conclusion of this episode? Players, things, anything to look out for in April.
You know what it is? I'm looking to see if the guys that got on these hot starts are going to sustain it. Because the thing is, right now, and I'll just use. We talked too much about Pete and Judge. I'm not going to use them. But I'm going to just use a team like Miami, for example. Not only the hot start they got on now, but there's a handful of guys on their team that almost have half of last year's career total in home runs already. And it's already 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks into the season. So I'm really curious to see what the trajectory of April is for a lot of these guys. And not only that, this is a story for another day. We're not going to touch on it today because we did the torpedo bats. But I am curious to see the stats at this end of this month because then I'll start to sprinkle in some fantasies of juice balls. I'll leave
Oh,
it. That'll be a breadcrumb for the next one.
oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, things I'm looking forward to. Yordan Alvarez. I think he's gonna finally get going. Hopefully, it's been a very bad start to the season. Jacob DeGrom. He looks good so far. Looking forward to seeing if that progresses. Hopefully, he stays healthy. The Reds, seeing if they get it together. Maybe CJ Abrams, another gambling story comes out or steroid story, something. I think CJ Abrams is going to go down for something this year. I just don't know what. But with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed. We just did this on the fly. We came up with this like 2 days ago and said, hey, we need to do an episode. Here it is. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave some feedback. Stay with us on this journey because, like I always say, we're covering baseball. The NBA Finals is around the corner. Matt is back. You guys saw that Matt was
Maddie.
back. Yes, me, him, and Kem are going to be hitting a very good basketball episode soon. I have another surprise in my little bag of surprises when I do the next wrestling episode for WrestleMania. So make sure you guys are on here. Fasten your seatbelts because it's not ending anytime soon. Hit the music. We're out. Out.